Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Oh, that's loud. If you can hear me, give me a springy frog in the chat. We're gonna get started here in a second. It has been quite some time since I have streamed. I've gotten a new microphone since the last time I streamed, I think. I got... Whoa, what was that noise? I don't know if you guys heard that or not. Or if that was just me. Yeah, it's been a while since I've streamed. I don't remember if the last stream that I had this new mic or not. Let's go ahead and hop over to here. Howdy. Yeah, we're doing a Ben 10 Alien commission today of this dude. I don't know what this guy's name is. Ines Yami, if you are in chat, let me know what this guy's name is. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want to send the link to her. Justin says, yo, got lots of springy frogs. Yes, Codex, I saw your thing in the server, your suggestion. We'll think about it. We'll see what's going on. Working on some old art, just doing it in the background. What kind of mic? There's literally no brand that I know of on the box. It just said condenser microphone. I got it for free. It was given to me by like my aunt who gave it to her from, it was her neighbor gave it to her and then she gave it to me. So yeah, I like it. I think it's nice and crispy. I can get real close into the microphone and do some like ASMR stuff if I really wanted to. But I don't want to. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. So let me know if you hear any like artifacts with it or anything that's like weird or quirky. What's up, Jack? Me Elemental. Nice. But yeah, I don't know the specifics of the mic necessarily. It's just some off-brand condenser microphone, probably from China. So, alright, so let's go ahead and get started on this guy. I need to think of a good pose. Also, I've gotten the name for this guy. His name is Slamphibian, which is a great name. I'm thinking for this guy we do a like face on type of I always rotate the torso because it's nice. And you guys will get to see my method for doing springs here in a minute. So that's a little bit of a learning experience that I can share. Yeah, posing is tough. Posing is tough. Currently studying the anatomy for drawing Genshin Impact characters. Ooh, good luck with that. Genshin Impact is mostly anime, right? It's mostly anime stuff, so any anatomy book that's just like human anatomy should be able to help you with that. Once you learn like how everything fits together, you can draw anything. Like quite literally, if you're drawing humanoid characters and you know how humanoid anatomy works, you can fudge the numbers so easily and you can make literally anything. So, best of luck with that. It's a fun project. Should draw another Yumi. Oh, should I draw another? Bleh. Should I draw another You Meet Q Neutron comic. Sure, go for it. I don't have any material for you. Like, I'm gonna have to watch the stream later. I'm at work right now. Okay. Well. How did you start getting into commissions? Because I'm interested in starting that too. I got into doing commissions during my time on Tumblr, and I started out with like art trades, right? Because I didn't know what my art was worth, and I didn't know like what other people who were about the same level of expertise as me were charging. And I found that, you know, a lot of people around my skill level were charging anywhere between like $15 to $20, $30. And $35 was my rate for a long time, and I just recently raised it to $50, which I think even still that is probably underselling me based on what I know that I can do, but I also know that the audience that I've garnered prefers a rate that's a little lower like that. I would, if I were working in a slightly different market, I would probably raise my prices anywhere between $100, $200 per commission for a single character, just because I know that that's the type of work that I can produce if I really put all of my effort into it. But Ben 10 Aliens don't require 1000% of my like knowledge about everything that I have to know about art, you know, with lighting and backgrounds and you know, everything. A lot of people just want, oh, I want my character in a pose, you know, doing a thing. And in general, that's what I provide. So for that, I figure a rate of $50 per is a pretty decent price. You know, it's a good value without being so expensive that it turns people away. It's also a nice round number, which people like. You know, $50 is like, oh, well, okay, 50 is like, that's a big number, but it's easier to part with in your brain, because like, oh, I can just, if I have $100, I can buy two. Or, you know, it's that type of reasoning. It is a little bit of a marketing thing. I did take one marketing class, and I don't technically have a marketing degree, but like, you know, I think I've told this story before. But for those of you who are maybe new or don't know, I do have a degree in art and design that would have been a degree in art, design, and marketing if the marketing course had not been dropped after my first year of learning. I took the marketing classes. I was scheduled to take the marketing classes in my second year, and unfortunately that meant that those classes were dropped and changed, plus, you know, 2020 happened. So, my marketing class was sorely underutilized and dropped. So I didn't get that marketing word tagged onto my degree, which is a bummer. Forgot I did a fusion of you Neutron. Would you like me to send it? I mean, yeah, send it to the either the Share Your Art or the, you know, wherever. Send it somewhere in the server. I don't know, again, if we're going to do art tax or anything, but if you want to send it to art tax, do that. We'll see if we get around to it. I am mostly going to focus on this commission, though, and I may be a little quieter this stream just because, you know, it's a late night chill stream. It feels weird for me to charge more than 25 for my art, unless it's an additional character. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty decent rate for your art. If it's something based on what I've seen of your stuff, Codex, like I feel like 25 is a good rate for you, just because like the simplicity of your style. Which I mean, simplicity does not mean low effort, by the way. Um, but like, yeah, just like your skill level, that fits. It doesn't feel out of place. High end, if you were gonna charge like something special, would be $30 or something like that. But you're also, we've talked, or I've seen before. You posting about like, um, you don't have the widest market either, right? Like you kind of piggyback off of mine because you're part of my community, and that's fine. I'm not necessarily, that's not a problem. Um, Hell knows I've done the same thing to other people's communities. And that's what you got to do as an artist, is sell yourself. But if you can garner your own community with your own um, fandom, quote unquote, around it, then you're going to get a lot of people who are just interested in getting stuff from you because it's you and because they like your art style, rather than they need any artist and you're the first one they saw. And it is a good thing to be the first one they saw. That's not necessarily, I'm not just, I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but yeah, you get what I mean. Oh, hey, Crystal. Got to make your own building blocks and start building that tower for people to see. Yeah, exactly. That's a very good um, it's a very good analogy, Crystal. Yeah, the only way to to get people's attention in this world is to put in the effort to build your own tower that is tall enough for people to see. If your tower isn't tall enough, or if it's not shiny enough, people will not look up. But it's also a very good thing to not just build the tower tall, but to build it strong, and to build it in a way that has a strong foundation and good, respectable qualities, so that it doesn't come tumbling down after a couple years and somebody, you know, tries to cancel you on Twitter or something. I don't know if that's analogous, but you know what I mean. I'm only 19, and gosh, I feel like I need validation. Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Like, we all feel like we need validation in this world, and the best person to get that validation from is yourself. And it's hard. It is really hard to do. I struggle with that myself. I may not seem like it. I may seem like a confident person, but I am just terrible. So, I obviously don't show my full self on the internet. I don't think anybody does. We all, you know, I think I've touched on this before. Like, we all uh, portray ourselves in different ways in different mediums. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a way of protecting ourselves, and it's a way of, like, keeping ourselves safe from the weirdness that is on the internet, you know? But yeah, self-validation is tough. It is the hardest kind to get, because you are the only one who can give it to you. And you can't just give yourself self-validation either. You have to earn it from yourself, which is even harder, because you are your own worst critic, and you see all of your own little flaws inside and out. So in order to feel self-validated, you have to really be worth it. You have to really feel that way. Or you could just be a total douchebag and ignore all that and just, push it all down. But that's not fun either. That's not fun for other people. It may be fun for you. The only person who can change you is you. Exactly. I used to put my entire worth towards my art based on likes and comments, and for years it made me hate my art. And, not a lot of people noticed it, thinking it was trash. Learned to move on and away from that. So this is going to maybe sound weird, and this is going to maybe sound like I'm bragging or something. I never necessarily went through a stage where I hated my art, or I hated doing art for any reason. Now, obviously, I've had my struggles, and I have hated certain individual pieces, but I've never, as a whole, hated my art style or disliked where I was in my art journey, because drawing is just fun. I've never, put art on this pedestal of needing to be good or important, and in doing so, maybe inadvertently, I've never felt like I've needed to improve. I just always am improving. I've never felt like I'm not good enough or my art isn't good just because, oh, look at all these other people. No, when I look at other people's art, it doesn't make me feel bad about my own art. It is because I'm not comparing myself to them. I'm like, oh, look at what they're doing. That's really cool. I want to make something like that. And then I just go and do it, or at least give it a try. So if you're holding yourself back in this way that's oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't start taking commissions until I'm at a certain level or whatever, just fuck all that. Just do it. Oop, bump my mic stand. Just fucking do it. Who cares if you only make $10 during your entire year of career? Still doing what you like. Yes. So I got a comment from Yami. I was able to catch a second on the stream, and the arms or legs are supposed to be spiral like springs. That's how they are by default. I totally know. I totally understand. These are guidelines, because I have a way of doing springs that's a little different. You will see. But yes, I wanted to get the shape so that I can follow. And, one thing I also will say is, it's very easy to give advice to other people about what they should do. Obviously, I am doing it right now. I'm saying, oh, you should love yourself. You should not compare yourself to other people. But it is very difficult to take that advice. It is very difficult to get out of your own fucking way and, just let yourself try. At least I've found that it is difficult. And, it sounds so easy to get out of your own way, but it is one of the hardest things that I struggle with and have struggled with, and that I feel like a lot of people do struggle with. It's it sounds so easy, but it really isn't. But it also is. It is easy to get out of your own way, but it's just this mental block that I don't know. It's this like self-doubt thing that we all as people need to get over. And once we do, and once we start doing the thing, whatever it is, whatever this mental block is, once you start doing it, like, yeah, maybe you're not amazing at it, but like you're probably better than you think you are. Like you are probably better at the thing than you even realize, and the thing that's holding you back from being even better is you. That's it. So like the best thing I can say is to just do it. And again, I know that's sounds so easy and sounds so simple, but it kind of is the truth. Um, for example, one thing that I'm kind of trying to get off the ground is like I want to learn how to 3D model so that I can learn how to 3D print, so that I can make my own action figures, so that maybe one day I could have my own action figure line. That has kind of been my dream ever since I was a kid. I wanted to make toys. And I've been customizing action figures for a long time, and I have a lot of knowledge about how action figures work, and how to design them, and how to construct them. Probably better than some companies, even. But everything, has a budget. Um, and I have so many ideas for these figures, but, like, I don't know how to make 3D models, and I wanted to learn. And then I just didn't. I said, like, oh, I'll download Blender, but I don't know how to use it. Oh, I'll look up a YouTube tutorial on how to do it, but then I don't follow the YouTube tutorial. I just mess around in it and then get frustrated and then stop. Like, I'm standing in my own way. What I really need to do is go online, get a tutorial, follow the tutorial, learn. And once I do that, once I have a rudimentary understanding of the software, and like figure out how it works, and I'll make something, and then I'll make something else, and whatever, right? But I have this like weird, I don't know if it's ADHD or if it's just my own, you know, failings or whatever, but it's this weird thing of like, oh, well, I can't start learning until I have all these projects off my plate, and until I have some money so that I can, take some time off of work or something and learn it, or like, oh, I can't, you know, start this project until I have a 3D printer, or I can't start, it's just I keep making excuses for myself, and I feel like this is something that a lot of people do, is they make excuses for yourself so that you can find a way to, I don't know. This is a weird thing too. Like, humans, I've learned specifically through like learning about politics and how the world is developed. We like to feel persecuted in some way. Like there's something holding us back, and there's something external that is preventing us from doing what we want, and it's something that we can get mad about, but also feel like, oh, there's nothing I can do about it anyway, so I might as well just like, I don't know. It's this weird complex a lot of people have, where they want something to be mad about, but they also don't want something they don't want the solution to the problem. They just want the problem so they can have something to complain about. I don't know. And that's what I do for myself a lot, intentionally or otherwise. And I feel like that's what we all do, or a lot of us will do. I don't know, maybe not everybody. What do you think about this alternate name, iGuy? Cyclops is a really good name, actually. That's a dope name for iGuy. It's a desire to find a shortcut rather than accepting the fact that they have to go down the full road. Exactly. That's a good one. Facts. That's another Kodak. You said making a comic. I've wanted to make a comic for fucking years, but I feel like I did hold myself back on making a comic and telling stories for a long time. I hold myself back from writing for a long time because I didn't think I was a very good writer. And then I started writing, and I'm like, oh, no, actually, I'm a decent writer, and I can make stories that people enjoy. I mean, I still get comments every day. Hey, when's My Hero Academia Ben 10 Part 4 or whatever? It's coming. I have it written. I'm just, it's on the backest burner because it's one of those things that I stopped watching My Hero Academia. I stopped being inspired by it, so I need to start watching it again with my girlfriend and get back into it. It's one of those things. So, yeah. That's probably the driving factor, right? Like it's not in the dopamine cycle right now. I need to go back to the fundamentals of everything before I can move forward to my art journey. But some streamer artist helped me inadvertently, so that's a first. So there's that. The best thing I can tell you about learning the fundamentals is make them fun. Whatever you like learning, whatever you like drawing, incorporate the fundamentals into that, right? Watch a video about how they work and what they are, and take what you learn and incorporate that into something that you enjoy, that you actually enjoy drawing, right? So if you want to do like anatomy or figure drawing or whatever, take a character that you like and then put them in those poses and practice their anatomy while also practicing drawing that character. I don't know why I put a circle in their palm. They don't have those. So that you're always making something you enjoy, but you're also learning from it as well. And yeah. Greetings and salutations, Mr. Jack of Action. How are you doing this fine morning, afternoon, evening, and night? It is technically morning. It is 12 a.m. So it's midnight. How are you? It's good. I want to thank you again for my Alt Humongosaur B. Love my stretchy sauropod boy. Hell yeah. As of lately, I've gotten better at looking at poses and art and replicating them. I don't know how I got to that point, but I'm glad. That's another thing about art. I've talked about this phenomenon before, and it is a phenomenon that a lot of people have mentioned that they have witnessed, where like you will draw and draw and draw, and you'll get into maybe a little rut or something, or you'll draw the same characters a bunch or something. Right? You'll have like a hyperfixation of some kind, and this maybe is not super common for every person, but this is something that at least I've experienced. You'll get a hyperfixation about a certain character, you'll draw them a lot, or you'll draw things related to them a lot, and then you'll take a break for like 2, 3, 4 days, maybe a week. You'll come back, and then you'll suddenly be like 4 times better at art. Just like in general. And it's this weird thing. I think what it has to do with is similar to working out a muscle, where you need to have a day off to let your muscles heal, because that is what actually makes the muscle stronger. Is if you are constantly working that muscle, yes, you're getting work done, but you're still, tearing those fibers, you're still breaking down the parts. So, you are improving in general. But for that to fully take effect, you need to take the time to let those muscles heal and become, solidified. So that when you take that week off or whatever, you come back to it, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this just works better now. I don't know. It's a strange phenomenon that I've heard. Like every artist that I've talked to has had that happen at least once. Hey Jack, hope everything is going well, and yeah, I agree with that. I've also seen the opposite effect. That is also true where, drawing is one of those things that's like, it's kind of like riding a bike. You never really forget how to do it, but you can get rusty. You can lose your balance a little bit. You can, and that's why I think warm up sketches, not sketchers, are so important. Um, because quite literally, like, warming up for an art project is so important. If you guys aren't doing warm up sketches before your projects, I always saw it on people saying like, "Oh, here's a page full of warm up sketches that I did." Like, I didn't think that it was something that I ever needed to do, and I, I didn't believe in it. I didn't think that like warm up sketches were a thing, but it really does help your art. Like, doing like little exercises. One thing that I do a lot for a warm up is doing as many like lines as close to each other as possible without touching. Right? Like, as close as you can get them together without touching, and trying to get them closer and closer and closer each time without touching. That's one warm up that I will do pretty often, and I've filled a page with that before. Another thing is a spiral. Getting a spiral as close as you can without touching, and then doing it in reverse. Either without touching or keeping the spacing even, right? Like, the space between this and this and this and this and this are all the same. Fine-tuning those motor controls is something that really helps. I used to think taking photos of my own hand to figure out how posing was wrong. No, reference is so good. If you are ever drawing anything without reference, you're probably doing it wrong. Like, your brain thinks it knows what a tiger looks like, and then you go to draw what a tiger looks like, and you come out with something that kind of looks like a tiger, but like, if you look at a picture of a tiger and then try to draw a tiger, it's gonna look a lot more like a tiger. Does that make sense? Your brain has these, it compartmentalizes things into symbols, right? So a lot of times when people are learning how to draw, when you say to somebody like, draw a face, they will draw like, whatever, and then they'll do the hair or something, right? These are all symbols. These are, and maybe they'll do that and for ears they'll, whatever, right? These are all symbols. This is a face made of symbols. But if you say like, take a look at this picture of Amy and draw her face, you have to actually like figure out what Amy's face looks like. And I'm doing this from imagination, right? Like, I don't know who Amy is. But you'll find that you have to like look at Amy, look back at your drawing, look at Amy, back at your drawing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until eventually you get something that actually looks more like Amy. If my thing would load. Whatever. It's like, oh, well, her ear sticks out like this. Oh, her eyes are, she's got dark eyes, and her hair is actually parted in this way, and like, whatever. When you look at reference, it forces you to ignore those symbols. And that is what we are trying to do constantly with art, is ignore your symbols and draw the real thing. Now, drawing from imagination is similar but different, because when I say symbols, what that means is like your shape library, right? So I'm pulling, these coils from my shape library. Every time I draw a coil, I am calling upon the same like construction in my brain of what I know a coil looks like. So like, this entire drawing is made of symbols that I have developed over the years, right? And what drawing is training yourself to use the correct symbols in the right ways. And when you're drawing from imagination, this is not necessarily, trying to copy an image. Drawing the right symbols in the right way, and using them in the right way, and combining them in ways that work. You'll see me draw a fist like this a lot, where it's like you get this little shape right here, and you'll see hands coming toward every time you see me draw a hand toward the camera, it probably looks something like this hand, because these are symbols that are in my brain that I call upon whenever I need to draw something that's posed like this. And I purposely put things in these types of poses so that I can reuse these symbols. I have patterns, I have flaws. It would be better for me to not use these symbols as often, but, you know, you have to rely on what you have sometimes. I don't have an exact, I mean, I'm using reference here, but I don't have, like, you know, this exact image to copy from, so I have to use my big smart man brain and figure it out and put all my symbols together and make something that looks cool. Getting real, like, philosophical and technical on today's stream. Yeah, I'm using shapes to make an image, yeah. Oh. Oh, I feel like I need to start doing the line art. Been procrastinating on this line art. Okay, let me grab my thing and put my this, and now I've got a stabilization. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that this is looping. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. My music, I wanted to make sure my music was on loop. The better one pen was... Inferno is my second best example. Yeah, I'm going to do the, line art time. Do we have any other subjects to talk about? Because art is fun. And if you're not having fun, then you're not doing art. I don't know. I mean, art doesn't always have to be fun. Like, sometimes art is work, and you do get paid to do art. I get it. Sometimes, you know, you gotta eat, and sometimes art doesn't always make eating easy. I don't know what I'm trying to talk about. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But yeah. If you're not enjoying your art, then why are you doing it? I guess is my question, right? Like, if you're not drawing something you enjoy, then go draw something you enjoy. Figure out what you want. One thing I would say is more toward Ben 10 is character designs, like more specifically the different... Wait, what now? I'm sorry. One thing I would say is more toward Ben 10 is character designs, like more specifically the different alien body designs. I'm not sure what you're trying to say with that comment there, filmmaker. If you're trying to say, like, the one thing you like about Ben 10 Aliens is all the different body types, then yes, I also agree with you. But I'm not sure what you're getting at. I always forget that I can just, like, draw through the shape. And that I don't have to worry about overlapping lines. So you can just do this. Oop, don't want to do that. The only thing I have trouble with art-wise is poses. I'm trying to get better at them, but since I'm pretty new to learning anatomy, it's kind of hard. That is an interesting question. So there are fundamental rules to interesting posing, and to dynamic posing, and one of those rules is silhouette. And same thing with character design. You want to have a character that is instantly recognizable by their silhouette alone. And that's why a lot of Ben's aliens are so iconic, is because, I mean, look at any of their silhouettes, they are instantly iconic. But posing is the same way, right? Like spreading the legs apart, spreading the arms apart, having foreshortening, things coming towards the camera, things looking like they're moving, right? This whole character is tilted, like his line of action is going like this. His arm is going like this. This arm is intersecting all of that, but it leads down into this leg, which is pulling your eye, in general, this direction, right? The entire drawing looks like it's moving upward in this direction. And I did that intentionally. So the thing about posing is, like, you know, what is the character doing? What should they be doing? And what is a good way to exemplify what that character is doing? And if they're doing nothing, just standing there, that's also a valid pose. But there are lots of different ways to make standing there poses interesting as well, right? Like, I've drawn my fair share of characters just standing there. That is a staple of my art style. But, you know, looking a different direction, having an upturned angle, or like, or a downturned angle, playing with perspective and stuff in that way can make a standing there pose pretty interesting. Giving your character a prop to interact with, or another character to interact with, completely changes the dynamic of posing as well, right? Like, it is so... What in the world? Go away. It is so, like, monumentally different to pose a character with a prop than it is to pose a character with nothing. So I, try to do that sometimes. Posing two characters together, or a character, even a character that's interacting with another character who is off screen, is an interesting, like, thing. You still have to imagine that that character is there, and that the subject of your artwork is interacting with them, but you don't have to draw them outright. Who else find character designs with big hands and forearms just satisfying? Is it me, or am I just weird? No, that is completely, like, ingrained in our subconscious, all the way back in, like, Mega Man and all that stuff. Like, there is something satisfying about that, and I think it's just because that tapered look of the character. The interesting about that is, like, besides the face, hands are the most expressive things that we have. So many people, in fact, I would say probably the majority of people, I don't know the specifics of the statistic, but, like, the majority of people, I would say, talk with their hands. It is an excellent tool for us to convey our emotion. So having large, emphasized arms and hands is just logical for character design. It makes a character look strong without necessarily having specifically large muscles and anatomy. It allows you to emphasize they feel weighty, right? They feel significant when you have like large hands and forearms and stuff. Um, and not every character works with that. I oftentimes you see male characters with larger forearms and stuff because male anatomy is different than traditional male anatomy is different than traditional female anatomy. I don't want to step on any toes here, but men and women are built differently sometimes. So having slender arms on female characters or female presenting characters, feminine characters we'll say, is a good way to portray that femininity in a way it's a shorthand, Again, going back to symbols, right? Like it's things that our brain picks up on. But it's always fun to subvert those expectations too, and have a girl character with big chunky boots like Jenny Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot. She's got those big chunky boots. Characters like who else? There's a character from Arcane. I think her name is Vi or something. I don't remember. The character with the big fists. The big robot fists. I don't remember what her name is. I didn't actually watch Arcane, and I know I should have. And I do plan on it, but I want to watch it with my girlfriend. She also doesn't. My girlfriend doesn't like watching things. I know. Crazy, right? She doesn't like watching Netflix or like movies or like higher production stuff for some reason. I feel like she has like some sort of strange commitment issue with that, which is fine. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just she'll commit herself to watching 3 episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race in a row, but she won't watch one movie. I don't get it, and it's just an interesting thing. But I'm not gonna sit here and complain about my beautiful wife. She's not my wife. We're not married, but you know what I mean. The person I've been dating and living with for 9 years. I feel weird to call her my girlfriend because it seems so juvenile, and recently we have been just kind of saying like partner because it's just a more mature word to use for what our relationship is, because we're not engaged yet or anything, but whatever. The specifics of my relationship is not something that I need to air my grievances on the internet. Like I legit think more stylized art, bigger chunky hands, just feel powerful but also goofy. Yeah, Jinx is her. Well, isn't Jinx the one with the blue hair? I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the red-haired one. Sonic the Hedgehog is another example of big hands and feet. Yeah, it just helps to emphasize animation very well as well. Like big chunky shapes that move across the screen is something that's going to catch your eye more. So those, that's why Mario and cartoon characters in general have bigger hands, because like hands and feet in general, because like it helps you in the medium of animation. Not only does it help the artist create those animations, but it helps the viewer like track what is happening. Oh, I didn't draw his toes. I forgot about his toes. I forget about his toes. Excuse me, Discord. What are you doing? Discord just decided to reset for no reason. That was strange. Hope I'm still online. I think everything's fine. Right? Yeah. What in the world is going on? Go away. Why are you on the screen? Oh no. Hey, are we still live? What's going on? Are we... Hello? Are we still live? I don't I don't actually know. It says I'm connected to the internet. It says I'm still live. And yet Chrome seems to have crashed or something. I don't understand. What in the world is going on? What in the world? Alright, I'm gonna close all of this, I guess, and restart that. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I still don't know if we are live. I'm working on it. I'm working on coming back. I think we're still good. Yeah. Okay. Strange. I think my Chrome just decided to eat butt right now. I don't know why. So that's strange. Don't know why that happened. Music is back. We're good. Everything's fine. Weird. Okay. Yeah, my computer just I guess disconnected from the internet for a second, or Chrome crashed, or I don't know. Something was weird. It choked on some RAM. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe my computer needs an update or a reboot or something. I'll do that as soon as the stream is over. Anyway, what was I saying? Something about his toes or something? I don't remember. Yeah, Chrome has skill issue. I need to get there. I know there's a better browser out there for gaming and shit. I don't remember what it's called. Tim told me about it. I'll talk to him about it, and I'll actually download that and learn how to use it, because I know it's probably worth it at this point. Chrome is good. It does a lot of good things for you, but it's a power sucker. Opera GX, that's the one. You said you forgot to draw his toes, yeah. I'm using it now. It's honestly a really awesome upgrade. Well, I will, I'll take a look into it. At the very least, I'll try to use it for when I'm streaming, because I need as much internet as I can freaking get. Y'all know that. The only internet service provider in my area has a strong monopolized grip on us people. It is Spectrum Wireless. If you know, you know how absolutely god-awful their service is. And how absolutely little they give a shit about their customers. We get some banger music in the background. Can we get some banger music in the background if you wouldn't mind? So that's the thing. That's the thing about banger music. I would love to play some banger music, but it's all got to be royalty free. So, 80s. Let's just see what we can find here. And let's sort by Creative Commons, which you can do on YouTube, by the way. You just gotta go to your filters. And let's see if I can find like a good 45-minute to an hour long loop. Commons, and let's find. There's a long one, darn it. Oh, give me a moment. Why are all of these like... There's a long one. They're all like 3 minutes long. Yeah, I'm not even monetized, but I want no copyright, please. Hopefully this isn't too loud, by the way. Oh, and I switched to... Alright, I need to make... Is this number 1? Okay, at least I know what number it is now. I did. I've seen that, yes. The pen thing. I still need to figure out how it works and get it installed and all that, but like, yes, I have seen it. How is the music volume, by the way? Because it's very loud in my ears. But I don't know if it's super loud in y'all's. I just turned it down for myself, but if you want it turned back up, I can turn it back up in OBS. It's alright, it could be louder for us. Ask and ye shall receive. How's that? I drew that with the wrong pen. D&D slime as a transformation. I mean, yo, that kind of be what I is already. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. I did base my character more off of a D&D slime post-modern edition rather than a Ben 10 alien. Because at the time of designing the character, I was actually more into D&D and like a modern. I'm writing a campaign. I think I may have talked about it on stream. If not, whatever. I am writing a D&D campaign that takes place in a modern city, New York kind of style. I won't be like releasing it or making videos about it. It's just for me and my family to play. My girlfriend and my, sister group, that group of people. But I was writing that and I was getting into character designing and designed some slimes. And one of them kind of inspired this guy a little bit. How did I get into Ben 10? That is a good question with a long story. I hope you're ready to hear it. I got into Ben 10 because I went to Target one day with my dad. I can't remember what the circumstances of that Target trip was, other than just being out and about and going to Target. And I, as all children often do, wanted to buy a toy. And I don't know if it was a birthday or like a, what it was. But Ben 10 had just come out, or was about to come out, or something, and there was Ben 10 toys on the shelf. There was that first wave, or at least the first half of the first wave, of those Bandai 4-inch toys. And the first figure I ever got, just because I think my dad thought it looked cool, was Accelerate. And I think Accelerate is still my dad's favorite Alien. If I had to wager a guess based on like what I know about my dad and his, like he's not into Ben 10, but like if I had to ask him what his favorite Alien would be, I would wager a guess that it would be Accelerate. And he got me Accelerate. It was like just a simple little $5 figure. That's back when they were $5. And I fell in love with it. And immediately, like the next couple weeks or so later, we went back to Target. Like I was looking at the back of the box and of that Accelerate figure, and I was like, oh, look at all these interesting characters. Didn't know anything about Ben 10. Never had seen it before. I went back and I got Gray Matter, was my second one. And that was super fun to play with. And then I think I got the like 4-Arms like ship thing. I never got the original 4-Arms figure in the actual classic box with the like lenticular disc in the little thing, the viewfinder toy accessory. I don't think I ever got that version, but I did get the 4-Arms that was like in the vehicle. Not the lizard-looking vehicle, the one that had the green slime thing on the back of it. That was like the first 4-Arms I got. Anyway, all that aside. So I got that 4-Arms, I think it was the third one, and then I was obsessed, and I had to have all of the ones on the back of the packaging, because they all look super cool, because then, for the first time ever, not too long after that, I watched the show on Cartoon Network. I finally caught it while it was live, and it forever changed my life, because then I was like, oh, I gotta have all the characters now. I gotta get all of them. And with that, it was Christmas was coming around, things like that. So Mom and Dad didn't want to buy the characters for me outright, because Christmas was coming up, so they're like, all right, make a list of all the ones you want, and I just like took the back of the packaging and gave it to them, I think, or something along those lines. But the one I wanted the most was Wild Mutt. I don't know why I wanted Wild Mutt so bad. I don't know why Wild Mutt was my favorite, but I wanted Wild Mutt, and that's the one. Mom and Dad always call him Wild Butt, because my parents are like that. I don't know, they're funny. So Wild Butt was my favorite, and Christmas rolled around, and they got me every single one that they could find on either eBay or, whatever. They got me every single one that was either on my list or was available at the time to get. I think maybe minus one or two that I had to get later on. Like, I don't think they got Stinkfly at that during that Christmas. But I got the Rust Bucket playset. I got the Omnitrix, the actual like wrist watch, or not the watch itself, but I got the role play watch thing. I think I got all of the aliens. I got Vilgax and Ben, and just everything that was available at that time, minus like one or two things. That was the best Christmas ever. So, Jack, hey Dad, what's your favorite alien from Benjamin Jack's dad? Kind of like that cool blue stripy lizard fellow with the cool helmet. You always pick one of the cool ones. When you think about it, your dad is the reason you are probably now drawing Alien and more. Made friends in the Ben 10 community and so on, all because of that accelerator your dad got you. Exactly. That was also the start of a crippling financial issue that I currently have, which is action figure collecting. They, well, actually, no. That's not the first seed. That is the biggest seed. The first seed of collecting that I ever had was my nursery when I was a baby was, for whatever reason, Noah's Ark themed. So that meant growing up, when I was very, very young, I was very into the idea for some reason. I mean, it was just animal themed, right? Like Noah's Ark was all about animals. So it was all about animals, but I specifically wanted to have two of everything. I was big into elephants and to, all the stuff. But I had to have two of everything. So that was the first seed of collecting. And my dad was a little bit of a collector too, so like this makes sense, right? Like it's in my blood. But Ben 10 was the big, oh, this is a thing now. It was the first time I realized that I was a collector. I was like, oh, I can have all of them, and my parents are gonna buy them for me. And anytime I would get allowance money, or I would do little chores around the house to see if I could get enough money. And I it was the first time I ever anticipated releases of a figure, right? I would go on ben10toys.net and just scroll every day and just see what was up and watch little reviews or little whatever. I got really into the community around toys. So that's what started all that is the Ben 10 stuff. The crippling problem I now have, though, is because I'm so into toys, I have collected, I don't even know, probably $10,000 worth of plastic in my, probably more than that. No, for sure more than that, because I've got almost $1,000 in pre-orders coming, right? Like I added up all my pre-orders that I have on my list right now of things that are coming out soon that I've pre-ordered. Things that I don't even have a budget. I just added up all the money and figured out how much money I'm going to be spending in the next coming year on just the stuff they've already shown, like Hasbro, Marvel Legends, and just figures on the internet that I want. And it's almost $1,000 with tax and all that. So, did you look up the codes online, or did you get the figures to get? I got the figures to get the codes, my dude. The Alien Fusion Lab was my shit. I got the figures to get the codes to get the thing. And you know how on those cards to get the codes, a lot of people, you could just see the code without even having to use the little red like vision thing that all of the little stands came in. Since I was colorblind, I couldn't actually read the code, so I did have to use the little red piece of plastic that allowed you to like filter out the other colors. So it was actually like an engaging experience for me to use those toys, unlike most kids who probably weren't colorblind and who could just read the code without the little piece of red plastic. So I was super into that line, like the translucent action figures or whatever, or the action posed whatever, like all of that stuff. Super into it. So yeah, now I'm a huge action figure collector, spending $1,000 on fucking toys every couple months, and that's why I need to do commissions to make money. This is loud. It's loud. Oh, but I was talking about the I had an interesting story to tell about the anticipation of figures releasing, because our Walmart in my town didn't get Ben 10 figures for a long time. They were super late to the game, and there was a very interesting experience that I had three different days in a row. And it was day one, or I guess evening one, whatever. I went on Ben10toys.net and saw the leaks for the Ben Wolf figure, 6'6", Upchuck, Cannonbolt, Wildvine. Or no, it wasn't Cannonbolt and Wildvine. Cannonbolt and Wildvine were already out. It was Upchuck, Ben Wolf, 6'6". Who else was there in that part of the wave? The Ben Victor and Ben Mummy. It was those five, and maybe one more. Ghost Freak. That's what it was always. I think it was 6. It was those 6 figures. And the next day, I went to Walmart. I had this thought in my brain, like, there's no way they're gonna have these, like. I have $15 in my pocket. I'm just going to go to Walmart with my grandpa and just see what they have. Just to see if there's anything new in stock. Because they were still so behind. I go into Walmart. That next day, I found Ben Wolf, Upchuck, Ben Mummy, and 6'6". And I actually had to ask my grandpa for another $5 so that I could buy the 4th figure. And I was super happy. And then I ended up getting Ghost Freak and Ben Victor further down the line. But I didn't know who these characters were. Like, I had seen 6'6", I had seen Ghost Freak from earlier in the show, but like Ben Wolf, Upchuck, Ben Mummy, Ben Victor, I had never seen those characters before. I think it was the next day or the day after those episodes aired on TV. And I was like, oh! Whoa, Ben got a new alien. That explains this. So it was this weird, like, I got spoiled for Ben Wolf specifically because of the toys. I had the figure in hand when I watched that episode for the first time. And it was this weird, like, oh, I got ahead of it. Yes, or maybe when I caught the episode for the first time, it was a rerun. I don't know if it actually was a rerun or not. But yes, the figures were releasing in time with the episodes. I think it was done purposefully as like oh, you saw this episode on TV, now go to Walmart and buy the thing, right? Like, it was like, I don't think it was Bandai slipping. I think it was like, whatever. Yeah, Bandai produced the toys. No, I think it was purposeful thing. But like, Walmart is also notorious for, like, as soon as they get something, they'll put it on a shelf instead of they'll ignore the, like, street date, quote unquote, for something. A lot of times, and Target will do this too. A lot of figures, they'll have like a street date, which is these things are supposed to stay in the back dock until a certain day, and in which you can then put them on the shelves and they will be available for sale. Walmart sometimes, the employees just ignore that and they'll put them out as soon as they can because they need the space, and then people are able to get figures early. And a lot of time nowadays, getting figures that are uh, getting figures early is a lot more difficult because back in the day they didn't have like the street dating existed, but it wasn't like they didn't have a way to stop you from buying the figure if you found it. Right nowadays they have things in place that's like, oh, this figure is actually street dated for a certain day. You can't buy that until, whatever, that type of thing. So that's a pain, and they'll actually like take those figures back off the shelf at that point if they, unless you can get a really nice employee and like convince them. Excuse me. I think that's horrible choice on their end because there's a lot of people who haven't seen those episodes, so kids were going to be spoiled. Again, I think what it was meant to be was like these figures are going to release like they are in the hands of Walmart, and they are to be released right after those episodes air. But Walmart, since they got them early, put them on the shelf as soon as they got them, and then, people were spoiled or whatever. But I was a kid. Who cares about spoilers, right? Like, when you're a kid, you don't think about that crap. And the parents don't care because it's a kid's show. So, like, nobody really cared. If you were a hardcore adult fan of Ben 10, maybe you would have cared that things got released early and spoiled. But, like, we're living in a completely different world with internet stuff nowadays. This was like 2005. The internet was a completely different place. Spoilers were not like, they were not huge. They were not so culturally important to be like protected back then. So like, yes, in retrospect, it does feel kind of weird and shitty that I was spoiled about Benwolf, but also like, I wouldn't have gotten to have this interesting experience of like, oh, who is this character, and why haven't I ever seen him before, and like, what's up with this? And then Upchuck was like, because like we didn't see Upchuck until like way later in season 4, or is it season 4? I don't know, but yeah, like we didn't see Upchuck for years. I don't know, maybe not years, but for a long while. So that was the real spoiler. I was just telling sorry, what did I miss? I went off the stream for a minute. I was just telling the story about how I found out about like Benwolf and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It was just an interesting story about like it was so strange that like I went online, learned about these figures, and then like almost the very next day, I don't know if it was actually the next day or not. I think it was though. The very next day, I go out just to see, like what if, and I had no hope in my heart at all that these figures would have been there because my Walmart was always so late to get everything. And it still is. Like, it genuinely still is so late. Bottom of the totem pole. Like, getting everything months after release date. So, I did not expect to get those figures then that day. Oh, I forgot his little under neck chesty thing. I'll have to add that on a separate layer. That's fine. Hello, Pooper. Oh. I like the colors of this guy. He's very vibrant. No. It was the 4-inch, like regular release Bandai figure. For the record, Ryan thinks that he Upchuck can't eat pizza. I think he can, just that Ben ate a whole buffet before he turned into Upchuck, therefore he couldn't check it out. We actually talked about this topic during I don't know if it was during one of his streams or if I talked to him in private about it. But we do have a theory about Upchuck and the Mercs and the Perks. The one we see is a perk in that scene, right? Like the first Upchuck we see is a perk. And we have this theory that perk Upchucks are texture eaters, and they can digest almost anything. So they enjoy eating things that may not taste good, but are interesting, have an interesting mouthfeel, right? So that's why he can eat like robot parts and things like that, because it's like, oh, electricity flavored. But Merc Upchucks are the chefs. They're the cooking ones, right? Like they are taste eaters, and they may not be able to eat all of the like robot parts and stuff, or maybe they can, but they don't enjoy it as much, or maybe they're not able to digest it as well. But yeah, they can eat food, or they enjoy eating regular food more. Excuse me, man. My throat is a little dry. Thought on the Marvel Legends No Way Home 3-pack. If anything, I really want to get the Toby. Oh. You want to know my thoughts about the No Way Home 3-pack, do ya? You want to know my thoughts about the Marvel Legends Hasbro Pulse exclusive $90 No Way Home 3-pack? It makes my blood boil. The figures look amazing. They look great. Well, two of them look great. Two of them look great. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man looks the best out of all three of them. Tobey Maguire's looks pretty good. A little bit wonky maybe, but that could maybe be posed away depending on how you want to display the figure. I think the eyes look a little strange, like they're a little too high or a little too low or something. The head shape is a little big feeling. It kind of feels to me like a little kid in a Spider-Man costume, which is not good. And I think it could be a little slimmer, but I think overall it is a good representation of that character, and I definitely want it. However, the thing that really grinds my gears isn't even the price point. If the price point would be justified if it was 3 brand new sculpts with brand new paint deco, you know, all the accessories that they're promising, all that stuff, right? Totally worth the $90. But it's not 3 new figures. It is 2 new figures and a completely reused, re-released, inaccurate version of the Tom Holland Spider-Man from that final battle. The figure that we got twice already in 2 different forms. One of them is a Walmart exclusive. One of them released in the full wave, I think. I think I have 2 of those figures. I don't know. With just a little extra paint thrown on it. You want to know how much paint costs Hasbro and like extra redecoing costs Hasbro? Basically nothing. So they are charging us $90 for something that we really, really want and have wanted for a long time, with the justification like, oh, it's $90, 3 figures, that's $30 per figure. When in reality, you're only getting 2 new figures. And you're paying that extra $30, extra $15 a piece per figure, because you already have that Andrew Garfield figure. Or, sorry, not Andrew Garfield. You already have the Tom Holland figure. And the thing that pisses me off even more is there's 2 things about this. One, they don't come with alternate unmasked faces. They don't. It's just the masked heads. No Tobey Maguire face. No Andrew Garfield face. No Tom Holland face. Nothing. We're not getting those. And you want to know why we're not getting those? Because they're going to re-release all 3 of these figures in some other wave, some other MCU wave, the next Spider-Man wave, whatever, and they're going to be either battle damaged, or they're going to have whatever, and then they'll have the alternate heads, and then they'll have all the little things that we want in extra. You know, they're going to make a black suit version of that Spider-Man, right? Of the Tobey Maguire version. They're sucking all the money, and it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. You have to go directly to the source and pay more than usual when you're cutting out the middleman. Instead of getting charged less for going directly to the company and directly to the source and cutting out the middleman, you're not saving money, you're spending extra because it's an exclusive. God, I hate it. It drives me up a wall further than Spider-Man himself. But the figures look amazing. And that's the problem, really. Is the figures are great, and I really want them. I really want them really bad, and I paid the $106 that it was. Because, by the way, it's $90 before tax and before shipping. But I'm paying $106 to get these 2 new figures and a figure that I already got with new paint that I could redo myself because I'm an artist and I work with action figures all the time and I customize and I know how to paint action figures. I didn't bother painting and adding web lines and extra deco to the one I already have because I knew they would re-release it. So, yeah. It's a pain in the ass. For when the reason why Andrew Garfield doesn't work, he's too old. Peter Parker, cool. I can see the release characters separately just so they can make more money by adding new accessories to each figure. Oh yeah, and I get the fact that Spider-Man, one of Marvel's biggest IPs, but the fact that they're pulling that crap is highway robbery. It literally is the definition of highway robbery. It is the definition. Like, I don't exactly know the definition. I know the origin of it is like, you know, actual highway robbery. Like, you know, whatever. It's just, it is preying on the consumer in such a way that just pisses me off. It is like, hey, you want this thing. You've been waiting on this thing for a long time, right? You want to buy this thing anyway, right? Have fun buying it for extra money and also buying it only from us and no one else. And also have fun buying it again when we re-release it in a better way. And you don't want to miss out on this, right? Because who knows? We might not re-release it. We might only make one of these. So just in case, you better make sure you get this one so that you can get the thing that you want. Yeah. Fear of missing out. FOMO is a powerful tool that Hasbro is just milking. And I hate it. That's how corporate businesses get you. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, you want to know some more thoughts that I have about Marvel Legends? There's another exclusive that has grinded my gears lately, if you want to know about that. The Walmart exclusive 90s retro carded Spider-Man with those beautiful blues and the nice slimmed down body and the like super accurate head sculpt and the limited quantity of about 1,000. And it's a Walmart exclusive. And it was only available for about 12 seconds before it went completely out of stock and then was removed from Walmart's exclusive CollectorCon listing. Yeah, that's real nice. You would go to the page, you would click add to cart, and then it would be like, unable to add this item to your cart. We're currently experiencing high traffic. Come again later. Which is code for, this item is out of stock, fucko. Give up. And the exclusive super hyper classic lizard figure, that's like first appearance lizard figure, retro figure, is also in the same boat, but it's actually not a CollectorCon exclusive, it's just a Walmart exclusive, so that one I did actually manage to snag. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It sold out in 12 seconds because all the scalpers already had their bots set up because that's all. You know, they didn't have like a limit of 5 or whatever per customer, or anything. They just buy as many as you want. It's Walmart, so scalpers were just like, oh, add to cart, 1,000, or whatever, right? Like. So yeah, scalpers. You'll be able to buy. You'll be able to buy that figure for. What was it? $30 on Walmart.com. So it'll probably be $50 on eBay. Something like that. But it had the crappy like cell shading, quote unquote, on it anyway. So like, I'm not too upset. It's just that specific vibrant blue. It's hard to explain. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you know that super bright cobalt blue, not even cobalt, like that, what is it? It's not even cobalt, it's like cerulean blue. It's like super bright, rich, like, it's like this color. It's like this color, blue, on Spider-Man, next to like this color, red. Actually, a little bit more orangey than that. Like this color, red. And then the classic, like, eyeball that's, like, shaped kind of boxy. And then, like, ooh, like that. Oh, it's so good. Love it. We've never gotten a Hasbro Spider-Man. It's like this bright blue. Actually, I take that back. We've gotten one. Technically 2, but we've gotten 2. One of them is the 6-armed Spider-Man with god-awful torso articulation. I mean, what else could they do? But like that blue on that 6-armed Spider-Man, very good. And then Webman, which is an inverted Spider-Man. He's like almost teal. I'm just waiting for the Toby and Andrew Funkos to be released. I'm not into Funkos, but I can see the merit there. I'll back you up on that one. forgot to do the... Yeah, that works. That's close enough. Turn that off. And let's go ahead and throw a nice little background on it. Something... Let's do slightly bluish. Since we were talking about that blue. And he's like a pond creature, so, you know, he's like, oh, water, I don't know, whatever. Who cares? So that's a nice little background, and we'll go ahead and save. What was his name? Slammphibian? One. Actually, we'll save it. I'm gonna do all my saving, and then we'll probably do art tax, and then I'll end the stream. I don't know how long I've been streaming. It's been about an hour. A nice little quote-unquote short stream. Did my shit freeze again? Yeah, I need to reboot my computer. If you can hear me, let me know. Just say, say frog in chat. Because I think my Chrome died again. I'm gonna have to, yeah. I'm gonna have to restart Chrome again. This is nuts. My computer is like dying. Just go back here, whatever. Frog. Okay, yeah. So you guys can hear me. It's just Chrome that's crashing. Oh, there's double speak. Advice for highlights on black for drawings. Do it the way that I just did it. I don't know. Sorry. There's so many tutorials. I don't know if I'm like in teachy mode right now. But good luck. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can hear you, Frog. Yes. Black on, or highlights on black. There's so many different ways you can do it. Obviously, I've done just like make a shape and then kind of erase that shape and make it kind of interesting looking, and you know, try to follow the shape of the body and put, yeah, I don't know. So highlights operate like ribbons, and what I mean by that is like whatever direction the shape is going is the direction that the highlight will go, right? So like you're not going to get a highlight that goes across the body like this. I mean, you might, but it's very unlikely. Highlights travel lengthwise most of the time, right? Like this. So, but for areas like the top of the head like this, since it's round, I've kind of fudged that number a little bit, but actually, you know what? I actually like that extra line there. I'm going to do one there as well on the other arm, just because. No, that's too much. Okay, and then we'll do save as Slimefibian 1 and PNG. Oh, I didn't save the background as one. Then we'll do Slimefibian 2. Thank you, Jack, for the highlights advice. Yeah. My headcanon is that Paradox is the narrator of classic series. Yeah, so at least for the What If episodes, where it's like the Gwen 10 and the... There was another What If episode. I guess, what is it? The final episode of Ben 10 Classic, or whatever, that's technically non-canon, that ends on a comic book. Anytime you hear that, like, so many ways to tell a story, you know, that's Paradox. Which is weird that the finale of the Ben 10 Classic series is technically non-canon, which, like, whatever. It's dumb, but Ben 10 is all kinds of convoluted. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. That's not what I wanted. Oh my goodness. Why is Chrome crashing? Alright, I'm just gonna do just the stream. I'm not gonna have any music right now because I just want to see what's trying to happen. I don't know if like my whole computer just needs to be rebooted. So I'm not gonna be able to see chat right now. I'm just saving my stuff, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of art tax, and then we're just gonna end the stream because this is getting kind of nuts. Failed to save. What? Oh, fuck. Is my whole computer crashing? What the fuck is going on? Oh boy. Well, at least this is saved as something. I don't know if y'all can hear me right now. I have nothing open. Let's just see if it'll save anything, and then I might just end the stream now, because if this doesn't save, then I don't know what's going on. Alright, I have... Okay, that did save. Good. Again, I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm gonna hop over to Discord So y'all send me some messages in general if you can hear me. I'm trying to get this to work in as minimal a way as possible, just so that I can end the stream and have like a clean ending here. And we'll see what happens. You're good, okay? Might have a little bit of time. I'm just gonna comment on stuff that's in the art tax chat. You'll know what I'm looking at if you are in the Discord. Go to the link in the description if you are not a part of our Discord yet. But yeah, let's go through art tax a little bit. So we've got Hugh Neutron sketch by Justin Dowles. Cute, like it. What does it say? On tonight's stream, we're drawing. Is that what it says? Bestial, Wildmutt, Wrath, and Benwolf. Ooh, I like that. Yo, commission me to draw this. I want to draw that, but I want to be paid for it. I like that a lot. I would fucking tear up a commission about this. Agnostic though, like that's a great idea. I like that. Drew Ash as a galvanic mechamorph. Oh, it looks like the reboot style. That's really cute. I like that. That's really good too. Speaking of mechamorphs, I drew Ren as his. Oh, I like the way you did the feet. The like pants and like the white on the shoes is nice. It's a very good mechamorph as well. And I like the Omnitrix design. It's slightly different. It's got the like, it's more of the hourglass shape rather than the two triangles or whatever. It's got extra stuff on the sides. I like that. Very nice. Codex sent some ghost-looking ball and chain dude. Pretty cool. You got the Sinister Six by The One Who Waits. That's very nice. Agnostic Primate with another... Is this just a concept for Armadillo, or is it also a fusion? I like it, either way. Very nice. Ben 10, The Last Reality. A little bit of a comic cover type thing. That's cool. Oh, Booberoo, your style. Your style. Some of you guys in my channels, ugh, your art styles. Poobrew and Creature Feature and some of you guys, just the shape language, man. So good. I like that a lot, though. Elemental God with the Ben 10, the last R reality, double R reality. Interesting looks. I don't know if these are alien characters, extra side characters. Slender Man with like a TV static head. Interesting. And then we've got a Rojo concept, it looks like. Sorry, Abuela, just stop yelling. Funny. Alright, good stuff. Well, hopefully my Chrome isn't permanently broken. And hopefully restarting my computer will help, because I haven't restarted in a long time, and I think I'm just running out of RAM. Or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and end this stream, wrap it up pretty quick. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. It was freaking weird, I'll say that much, with the internet problems and stuff, but I hope you enjoyed this. This was a pretty quick commission. Just wanted to bust this out and talk to you guys while I did it, and apparently rant about action figures for a full, like, 2 hours. So that's cool. Thanks for hanging out with me with that. And in the meantime, I hope you have a good evening and good life, and I will see you next stream. Peace. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Waiting for the stream to catch up so that I can cut it off. Goodbye. Goodbye.